And we're going. Scott, all yours.
Awesome. Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Scott Rogowski. I'm the director of the Finance Center for NorCal SBDC, Small Business Development Centers Network. And this is brought to you. Happy Monday, everyone. Hope everyone had a wonderful weekend. Today is August 10th. This is our 50th session. We started these in, I think, like April. So April to August, 4 months, 50 sessions. We learned a lot. You learned a lot, hopefully. And we're excited to be here today. This is our Small Business Town Hall Disaster Relief Loan Updates. And we do this every Monday, Wednesday from 10:30 to like 11:30 or 12, depending on what we're sharing. So we're all in this together. SBDC, Northern California SBDCs in general, we've been around 40 years. It's our 40th birthday, I guess so. And we are funded by SBA, Small Business Administration. That's on the federal side. We're also funded by the state of California Governor's Office of Economic Development, which is called GoBiz on the state side. Because of our federal and state funding, we come to you at no cost. We come to you at one-on-one advising at no cost, kind of like hand-holding, helping you kind of walk through the process of what it would take to start, grow, expand, access capital, hire people, launch an e-commerce platform, marketing platform, understand manufacturing or restaurant. We have an excellent restaurant program. So we come to you at no cost. We also offer these educational webinars and seminars and workshops also at no cost. And we, for Northern California, we cover the most 36 northern counties of the state. We go from the Oregon border down the coast to Santa Cruz. We cover all 9 counties of the Bay Area. We go southeast to Stockton, then back up to Nevada and the Oregon border. So lots of, it's a vast territory, lots of rural counties. And we're here for you at no cost. Again, I'm Scott Rogowski, the director of the Finance Center for Northern California SBDC. Also have Sunita Maharaj on the call. She is the associate director of the Finance Center. She is going to go into, we'll get to Sunita. She's going to go into all the forgiveness part of it. After I go into just a quick update, which is what we do all the time. And then Sunita will go into the forgiveness. So, and the forgiveness, we're all going to learn from each other on the forgiveness. You're going to learn from us. We're going to learn from you. And as we enter this new phase of PPP for forgiveness and all this great stuff, it's going to be exciting and challenging and potentially fun. Who knows? And the Finance Center, what we do, we specialize in helping businesses access capital. That's what we do. During COVID, it's been PPP and EIDL all day long. So our agenda, we have our disclaimer, we have the EIDL and PPP parameters, PPP, Triple P for loan forgiveness from Sunita. We'll go to SBA update. We have the interim deputy director for the Sacramento District Office, Carrie Ellenwood, on the phone. So we'll go into an SBA update, lots of changes over the weekend, and then maybe some changes today. We'll hear later on today there's some changes or updates. We have upcoming webinars by the fabulous Alan Montague, and then we'll go into Q&A. So our disclaimer, there's some really small print on the bottom. If you like to read small print, we put that there because Alan is all about compliance. So thank you, Alan and David Franklin. He's not on the call, but there are compliance people. So things are changing all the time. This information was correct when we put it together, but things are changing all the time. The stuff that Sunita is going to go over is on the Treasury's website and or the SBA's website. So it's information that's as correct as today, as we woke up before we put this call together, but it is changing all the time. So please help us navigate this process as it changes. EIDL is Economic Injury Disaster Loan. It's open for everyone, even 501c3s, which is like contribution, nonprofits like churches, C4s, educational nonprofits, and C6s, chambers, and other membership-based organizations. There is no more EIDL advance, no more EIDL advance. There is the loan. I would take advantage of it. It's 30 years. We'll talk about it. PPP closed out as of Saturday. Closed out Saturday, 8/8, and it's no longer here. You can't apply for PPP anymore as of today, but we don't know what the future holds, so we're all kind of crossing our fingers and trying to figure that out. Do not hesitate to apply for EIDL. do not hesitate. If you have questions about declines and reconsiderations, that's what this calls for, or our email, or call Carrie at SBA, and we're here to help you at no cost. So if you were to go about the PPP and EIDL, this is a chart that we created based on our experience and what we know today. If most of this hasn't changed for the last 4 to 6 weeks. EIDL is an economic injury disaster loan. This is the money that comes directly from SBA to you. No lenders. SBA to you. 2.75% for nonprofits, which is C3, C4, C6s. 3.75% for all other business, like not if you make money, you're a for-profit, you know who you are. 30 years for everyone, regardless if you're nonprofit or for-profit. 11 months deferral, so you don't have to make a payment until the first of the 12th month, which is awesome. But interest does accrue during those 11 months. Collateral is not required unless you get a loan over $25,000, and a personal guarantee is not required unless you get a loan over $200,000. None of the EIDL loan is forgivable. None of the EIDL loan is forgivable. It's a loan you get to pay back. Cheaper than some mortgage rates right now, which is pretty awesome. 30 years. You could use the money on all operating expenses, cost of goods, which is COGS, any interest, debt payments, not principal, but interest. Not allowed to spend the money on expansion, equipment, paying off full amounts of loans, or any tax liens. PPP, if you got a PPP loan, then this is what you qualify for. If you received a PPP loan, this is what you qualify for. As of today, you can't apply for PPP, from what we know. PPP is 1% for everyone. If you received a loan before June 5th, your term was 2 years. If you received a loan after June 5th, your term is 5 years. You can, if you received a loan before June 5th, you can go to your bank and negotiate a 5-year term payback. You just have to go through the motions to do that. It's not automatic. But anybody that gets a loan, that got a loan from June 5th to August 8th for Triple P, you automatically got a 5-year loan, 5-year payback. 10 months deferral payment for Triple P after your covered period. So if you chose 8 weeks, 10 months after 8 weeks is the first tranche. That's like March. 10 months after 8 weeks after get funded in August is August of next year, I think, or August, September. So you got lots of time to make a payment. There's no collateral or personal guarantee for Triple P, which is awesome. Potentially forgiven up to 100% if you spend 60 or more percent of your monies on payroll costs, including state taxes, and 40% or less on utilities, mortgage interest, monthly payments, and or rent. You can't spend PPP money on workman's comp, so you can spend it on all this stuff that we're saying you can't spend it on, but it won't be forgiven. So you can't get forgiven PPP money on workman's comp, federal taxes, anything that's not part of the 4 uses of rent, utilities, payroll costs, or interest mortgage payments. And then now we're going to go into, Sunita Maharaj is going to go into, so she'll explain to you where she got this information and how she broke it down and what she's going to go into and what she's not going to go into. And then as we continue through this week and the next following weeks and you're applying for forgiveness, we will change this based on polls that Alan's going to create that he doesn't know he's going to create yet about what you want to know about the forgiveness. Okay, he has a job. He's gonna put a poll together. Now he knows. So Sunita Maharaj, she's the Associate Director of the Finance Center for NorCal SBDC, and here she is. Thank you, Sunita.
Thank you, Scott. I appreciate that. So where we got this information is from the FAQs that was released last week. I believe it was on Wednesday. Today, we're going to go through what you can and cannot use the funds for. Regarding FTEs, we will get into that on a different day because I think we need to spend a little bit more time and not just jam all this information into just one webinar, because there is a lot of information that I'm going to share with you today. So one of the first things that the FAQs went over were sole proprietors, independent contractors, or self-employed individuals with no employees. They should complete the EZ application, the Loan Forgiveness 3508 EZ application. We can also put these application links in our chat. So we will put the regular one off of the SBA website or Treasury website, and then also the 3508EZ. Sole proprietors, independent contractors, or self-employed individuals with no employees should use the 3508EZ. Scott,
Do
kind of
you,
went
do you
over
also want me
this.
to put the PDF, the FAQ? Okay.
That would be great. Thank you so much, Alan. So as long as a borrower submits the loan forgiveness application within 10 months of the completion of the covered period, so that's 8 or 24 weeks, most people should have just chosen the 24 weeks. So if they went over, they couldn't start as soon as they were funded, or, you know, there's lots of different scenarios. And I would really ask that if you had specific questions to your particular business, that you reach out to us. We have a lot of advisors now that have been working one-on-one with clients and have been able to get over a lot of the hurdles in regards to covered period. So the borrower is not required to make any payments until the forgiveness is determined by SBA. Loan forgiveness payroll costs. So what can we include or not? So payroll costs incurred during the covered period, but paid after the covered period are eligible for forgiveness. Payroll costs incurred before the covered period, but not paid during the covered period are eligible for forgiveness. I know this is very confusing because even when I was writing it out straight from the forgiveness information, I think that what's going to end up happening is they're going to hopefully be more direct on what it is that they are trying to say here. So payroll costs incurred before the covered period but paid during the covered period are eligible for forgiveness. Now, if a borrower does not pay biweekly or more frequently, then it will not. They will need to calculate payroll costs for partial pay periods. The covered period for all is up to 12/31/2020. What can we use the money for? For the purpose of calculating cash compensation, the gross amount should be used when calculating and not the net. I guess there was a lot of confusion in regards to that. So payroll costs include all forms of cash compensation paid to the employee, including tips, commissions, bonuses, and hazard pay. The cash compensation per employee is still limited though to $100,000. So the amount of compensation of owner employees that is eligible for forgiveness depends on the business type and whether the borrower is using an 8-week or 24-week. They're not specific on what they mean by business type, but all along we have seen the 8-week and 24-week cover period information. So specifically what they meant by business type at this point in time, I don't know. I'm just giving you the information that is on the document itself. So as soon as we do find out, we'll let you know. But your maximum amounts for the compensation of owner employees, 8-week max is $15,385, and the 24-week max is $20,833. For more detailed info, the forgiveness document will be located in the chat. Let's see here.
Yeah, I put the 2 forgiveness documents and this FAQ document, or the links of those are in, all of those are in chat.
Thank you so much, Alan. So healthcare and retirement costs, something else that you can use your PPP money on. So group healthcare benefits will be considered payroll costs. Employer expenses for employee group health that are paid or incurred during the covered period are eligible. What is not eligible is the portion paid by the employees. I do recall one question weeks ago was asking, can I pay the employee portion? And I think at that point in time, we were not clear. As of the FAQs from last Wednesday, no, you cannot. Employer contributions for employee retirement benefits that are paid or incurred during the covered period are eligible. The caveat to this is any portion that is paid by the employee is not covered. Also, if you accelerate the payments to your retirement, it is also not eligible. So you have to stay within the timeframes. We're going to go over loan forgiveness for non-payroll costs. Eligible business mortgage interest costs, business rent or lease costs, and business utility costs incurred prior to the covered period and paid during the covered period are eligible for loan forgiveness. Non-payroll costs are eligible for loan forgiveness if they were incurred during the covered period and paid on or before the next regular billing date, even if the billing date is after the covered period. Payments of interest on business mortgages on real or personal property, such as an auto loan, which I don't know if we really knew this before, or if it had been stated, I think this part may have gotten lost, such as an auto loan, are eligible for loan forgiveness. Interest on unsecured credit card debt is not eligible for loan forgiveness because the loan is not secured by real or personal property. Loan forgiveness, non-payroll costs continue. If a lease that existed prior to February 15th, 2020 expires on or after February 15th, 2020 and is renewed, the lease payments made pursuant to the renewed lease during the covered period is still eligible for forgiveness. So if a mortgage loan on real property, real or personal property that existed prior to February 15th, 2020 is refinanced after February 15th, 2020, the interest payments on the refinance mortgage can still be covered for loan forgiveness. It is still eligible. Now, transportation piece. They actually did explain it, but not really. So a service for the distribution of transportation refers to transportation utility fees assessed by the state and local governments. Payment of these fees by the borrower is eligible for loan forgiveness. At the bottom of this screen, and I don't know if Alan is able to take this and put this in chat also, it goes over all the specifics in regards to transportation. And maybe during FTE, I will go ahead and put all that information in here, but it was so much that I wanted you to be able to see it to make sure if it does or does not apply to you. I know there was a lot of different questions in regards to transportation, and this is where some of that information is. And it is also located on the FAQ document itself, and it's under loan forgiveness, non-payroll costs. And at this point in time, that's it for PPP and loan forgiveness and what applies and what doesn't apply. We will work on the FTE piece on our next webinar. I don't know if we're going to do that for next Wednesday or if we're going to do that for next Monday. I know next Wednesday we do have Case Force, who are attorneys that we work with, and they provide some legal, they will answer some legal questions for you if you have any questions in regards to leases and so forth. So I am going to hand it over to SBA, and they will go over any updates that may be relevant as of right now. So Carrie, you're up next.
Thank you, Sunita. Appreciate that. So hello, everyone. Happy Monday. I'm going to give you an update on the Paycheck Protection Program, which closed as of midnight on Saturday, August 8th. So far, as of August 6th, so we'll have a couple more days to report out on, there have been over 5,158,000 loans made for $523 billion. And the average loan size is down to $101,000. So these are good numbers for small businesses being able to take advantage of the Paycheck Protection Program. As of today, we have no more information on whether or not it's going to be restarted with the additional funds that were available. But stay tuned. I'm sure we will hear from Congress what that decision will be in the next few weeks or so. In regard to the EIDL loan, the last numbers that I have are from July 26th with 2,900,000 loans that have been made for over $163 billion. As Scott mentioned, that portal is open still for all small businesses that are looking for that support for their ongoing business expenses. That's all I have today from SBA.
Thank you, Carrie. I did want to let everybody know as well on this SBA support screen deck. At the very bottom, I included the servicing information in case you have any questions in regards to servicing of your SBA disaster loan. You can give that them a call there, or you can email them at the email address. And it's for people that are listening and can't see the screen, the servicing number is 800-487-6019, or the email address is El Paso DLSC@SBA.gov. And then I think we're going to hand it off to Alan so that he can go over the upcoming webinars.
Great. I managed to turn my mute off before I spoke. So this afternoon, we start an incubator program. Our fabulous restaurants team are running a series over the next four Mondays with Gail Lillian, who's a food truck icon, going to be talking about how to own and operate a food truck. So a change of business for some folks, a new branch for some others. Also, our restaurant program on Thursday are looking at some ways to connect and engage with your customers with marketing and branding. Next week, we've got a presentation on emergency preparation for your business. Even though COVID's in front of us and happening right now, there's also emergencies of other types that could be coming just around the corner, even if it's only public sector, public safety power shutoffs that are almost likely to guarantee to hit us. But also wildfire season is just coming around. And then in the afternoon, we have a special with an attorney, Greg Ronaldo, who is one of the leading bankruptcy attorneys in the state. We'll be talking about how to avoid getting into bankruptcy in the first place, and if you do, what your options are when you're there. We've got another legal prep panel the following week on commercial lease agreements, making sure people understand some of the legal language in there and some of the factors involving that. We've got a repeat of our legal essentials for doing business online on the 27th. That was a popular event. So how to protect yourself if you're moving your entire or part of your business to an online space. And then back to the food truck idea, we've got Gail's working again about developing a checklist for building a successful food truck business. And that's early September. And I'm sure we'll be having more. We keep on adding them all the time. You can find the links to all of those to register and sign up at SBDC events/network calendar.
Thank you, Alan.
Thank you very much. Sunita, thank you very much for breaking all that down. It's a lot of stuff. I learned some stuff, so thank you very much. And Alan, thanks for the webinar updates. Appreciate that. And Carrie, Ellenwood, thank you very much for all the SBA updates. And Heather mentioned that there's a call today at noon that she might find out some other information. Heather's the district director for the Sacramento District Office for SBA. So there's new information that we might find out for our Wednesday call, which is cool. So you could call us. We'd prefer that you call rather than email us because we have a call center that answers the calls immediately. So please call us at 833-ASK-SBDC. You could check out our website, ASKSBDC.com. It's interactive. This is being aired as we speak. And then there's previous videos that talk about like these videos, like past information shared over the last 49 sessions that we've done. You can email us if you prefer to email at loans@asksbdc.com. If you speak Spanish or prefer to hear this information in Spanish, you can email the Spanish speaking team at Espanol at ASKSBDC.com. Oscar Garcia and his team, Edith Gomez of the California Hispanic Chambers of Commerce, does an excellent job. They're in Sacramento, but they cover all Northern California for us for assistance in anything EIDL PPP or startup or expansion or anything around COVID that is Spanish speaking. So that's our team, and really excited to be here. We have a lot more questions than we have had in the past, like in the past, 2 to 3 weeks. Nothing as exciting as what we used to go through with 200 questions, but we're going to go ahead and answer these. Some we're going to answer live, some we're just going to kind of type it in there. I do want to give a precursor to Wednesday's call. So 2 days from now, August 12th, we've had some back and forth with Case Force, which is an attorney coalition, coalition of attorney firms around different aspects of FTE employment law, lease negotiation law, landlord law, and then also basic attorney law for business. And then we are on there as well, talking about loans. So we've had separate calls. We've had our calls. We try to merge them on the same time that is working for Case Force. But what we did, something we probably should have done 2-3 weeks ago, is we combined it. So this Wednesday, the 12th, is our first time doing this webinar with our updates and having attorneys on the call as well. So we are going to merge it next week. It might be a little bit of a longer call, 10:30 to 12. We don't know how it's going to work out. It's not going to be a panelist thing like the lender panel was. It's going to be strictly, we're going to talk, and then we're going to have the attorneys maybe do some updates, and then we're going to go to live Q&A. So please bring your questions for attorneys that you would normally bring on Thursday from 4 to 5:30. They are no longer doing the office hours from 4 to 5:30 on Thursdays. This is their Thursday. It's Wednesday, 10:30 to 12 with you, with us, and with SBA. It's exciting. Depending on how it goes Wednesday, we may roll out every week. Monday, updates from Sunita and I and SBA and Alan for webinars. And then Wednesday, same thing, but we'll kind of go through those a little quicker, possibly. And then Wednesdays will be Case Force SBDC, attorney firms SBDC, so that we can get it done as a unit. I know that's a long explanation or description of what we're going to do in the future, but that's where we're going with this. And then Sunita and I will continue to extract more information from forgiveness. SBA will continue to get their updates. Some of the questions that I was answering when Sunita was talking was around, if my lender opened up PPP forgiveness this week, should I just stop everything and go down to the bank and talk to them right away and start processing forgiveness? I would recommend that you don't do that, but you are your own person and you run your own business. And if you're scared or not sure what's going to happen with this forgiveness, you can go ahead and do that. But I would recommend that you wait, since forgiveness is not fully, you don't have to take advantage of it today. You have time. You have probably another year to figure out forgiveness. And there are other lingering legislative talks about what they're going to do with forgiveness and what they're not going to do with forgiveness. So I would recommend you wait. So we have 14 questions in the queue that haven't been answered. I did answer a few, but a lot of these are either longer or they have more questions. So I guess more to them than they normally do that maybe SBA can answer. So Carrie, one of the questions is, with the next stimulus bills that are coming up, which they're not law, so I'm not sure. Are there any talks that you know of for SBA debt forgiveness program for a 7A or a 504? Like, have you heard anything that it might expand past September 27th?
No, I haven't heard anything, Scott.
Okay. All right, cool. Well, thanks, Carrie. Maybe we'll hear a little bit later today. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe we'll hear something, but again, until Congress makes the legislation official and everyone approves it, I can't speak to speculation.
Okay. All right, thank you. So
You're welcome.
yeah. Linda's asking, what about union reports? Are any of the funds that get sent in able to be used for PPP? I don't know what that means. Union reports, Linda. So if you want to call us and chat with us about what you mean by that, union reports, I don't know what that means. All right, so let's see here. Okay, just confirm. So you need to guess interest on auto loans isn't allowable, forgivable PPP expense, assuming loan predates. Yeah, that's right. Yep. If you paid a car payment and there's interest and principal with the car payment before February 15th, then yes. Actually, Arian, you might have this kind of broken down wrong. So the declaration date for EIDL is January 31st. The declaration date for PPP is February 15th. And the car interest loan payments that you paid is not an acceptable forgiveness with PPP. Just your mortgage interest payments if you have one. Paying your car payment is not forgivable, but it is allowed under EIDL.
Sorry, actually PPP, the new FAQs that I just read over, you can pay interest on a car if you're using it for business. So it's on the FAQs that is allowable.
Okay.
Now.
I guess I should have paid attention when you were talking. My bad. Yeah, I should have. Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah, it's hard. You're right. It's hard to pay attention and answer the questions at the same time.
Yes. I know I make it look easy.
All right, cool. Good job. Maybe you did. Okay, come back. All right. All right, that's cool that they can. All right. Says, let's see here. Have you heard anything about rent deferral or for commercial leases? I haven't heard anything about rent deferral for commercial leases, but maybe Wednesday you can ask the commercial property attorney that question. I think that'd be good. Okay. Says, are credit line interest payments forgivable? So I'll throw that back to you, Cindy. Are credit line interest payments forgivable? Or just cars and mortgage?
No, it's not. So it's the mortgage. So it's, it has to, the mortgage or rent is associated with property. So the line of credit is not. You can use EIDL money for that, but not PPP money. So those are the only two things that the FAQ stated. I wouldn't go out, if you're asking outside of that, then I would just assume no, that it's probably not going to be forgivable. So just those two items.
Yeah. Somebody says PPP loan payments start in a few months. Well, actually, Neil, they don't. It's 10 months. It used to be 6 months, but now it's 10 months after your covered period, Neil. So you're asking why wouldn't we want to submit for forgiveness before the payments are due? Well, you can, yes. But, Neil, if you're in the first tranche, it ended June 8th. So 10 months after June 8th is March. So your payments are really not due until March. So you can wait, Neil, or you can start now. It's up to you, but I would wait. I mean, today is the first day it opened for PPP forgiveness for the lenders. Do you really want to go there and stand in line with all those other people that want forgiveness today? Guess what? It's not going to happen today. It's going to happen probably later this year. So I wouldn't go today if I were you. I would wait a couple months. But you can do what you want. Like I said, it's up to you and how you run your business. If you're really worried about getting the forgiveness done, then I would start today. But what I would start today with is I would call us at 833-ASK-SBDC and say, hey, can you help me put my forgiveness paperwork together? Not necessarily, can you help me apply my forgiveness, but can you help me put it together? Can you help review my paperwork for my PPP forgiveness to make sure I have everything before I go talk to my lender and spend 3 hours down there with them, or however long it's going to take? All right, this is a really long one. I would absolutely hesitate before applying for EIDL. I received an EIDL loan and found out the hard way that there's an extremely high cost to it, which is not immediately disclosed when you apply. For example, the interest starts to accrue as soon as the funds are dispersed. That's right. There's also a UCC filing of $100. And finally, even though I was told that I was approved for an advance before the funds ran out, I never got the advance. All in all, by the time I returned the money, I'm out almost $300 and didn't even have the loan for 30 days. I apologize, Jeannie, that you had this experience. If you want to call us and talk about it and see about getting some other monies, I'm not sure if you still need monies, or since you gave it back, you did not need monies. But I just say call us and we can help you get other monies, unless you're just trying to vent, and then we appreciate your insight. I apologize that happened to you. Interest does accrue from the time you get the money in your bank for PPP and EIDL. Interest does accrue from the time. So yes, if you pay it back and you did not need it for whatever reason, then yes, you just have to pay the interest on the monies. And if you're going to ask me if that's right or wrong or not cool, unfortunately it's the law. So I just can't, we can't argue that. I apologize if that's the way it is, but that's just the way it is. What elements, regarding PPP, what elements have to be included to the employees to return to work? Even if there is no work, do I have to have them come back? If there's no work, you don't have to have them come back. Or can I pay myself even though they made much more than I do? Well, I think if you normally pay yourself, you can pay yourself, Maggie, but I don't know if you could give yourself an increase. I don't know if you want to answer that question, Sunita, or...
I think, Maggie, what we'll need to see is we need to see how you applied and how many employees you applied with, what your salary was, what your employee salaries are. That question is going to be difficult without us seeing all that information, because of course we want you to be able to get the most forgiveness possible. So please call us 833-ASK-SBDC, and then we will match you up with an advisor, so that way we can go over all of your questions and your documents as well. Because it's hard to give you a yes, no, or maybe answer without seeing everything. Another thing too is, I know some of this, what I stated today, is general, or it's very broad, as brought up by another director. And the issue is that it's coming straight from the document that's been submitted by the Treasury Department and SBA. So at this point in time, I don't know if they're leaving it a little broad, and then they're going to drill down later. But the information I provided you is pretty much word by word, straight from the FAQs.
Okay. Thank you. It's a really loud ring you got there, Alan. Is that like a rotary phone? What kind of phone is that? All right, just to clarify, you can use EIDL to pay off interim financing obtained bridge loan while waiting for the EIDL, but not personal funds used from LLC. You can use EIDL to pay off interim financing obtained bridge loan. So if you had the loan before January 31st, you can use the EIDL to pay the interest. If you did not, then you can't. Actually, so if you received Carrie, if you received a bridge loan waiting for EIDL, can EIDL pay that interest or no?
Yes, it should be able to pay that interest and those payments as they go forward. I don't think they can pay it completely off, though.
Yeah, okay. And then she says, well, waiting for EIDL, but not personal funds used from a line of credit. So Lori asked earlier, and I said no to the question, so maybe, so can you use, while you're waiting for your EIDL funds and you use your line of credit to wait for your EIDL funds, can you, even though you didn't have that loan before January 31st, can you use the EIDL to pay that interest? Does it have to be before January 31st that you take out credit, or no?
Well, the way I understand it, it would technically need to be before January 31st, but if it then becomes an ongoing bill, they should be able to make those payments, because that's the purpose of the EIDL, is to make your ongoing business payments.
Yeah, okay.
And I think they would need to document that that was a business line of credit use.
No, she said personal line of credit to use for like her business.
I think,
yeah.
Yeah, that's a sticky question. I would say that if she is really clear in her documentation, if they ever came back to look through her paperwork, it would have to be really clear that those funds were used for business purposes before she made payments on that.
Okay. All right. So when SBA approves an EIDL, for example, $10,000, what amount of collateral do they expect the business to have? So if it's under $25,000, they don't really require collateral. If it's over $25,000, they require business collateral, and then they may take personal collateral, like a house or a car or something like that. But yeah, what to do with an unresponsive PPP lender that has secured a PPP loan but hasn't fixed a problem to disperse the funds? Also, we don't want SBA to get the funds back after 10 days just because the lender is too slow to fix problems. For example, Cabbage has been impossible to reach by phone and no response to many support emails sent since August 4th. So Alex, I don't know if you...
So Scott?
Yeah.
If you could please have Allie call me. We can help her work through that with our servicing department on that problem with the PPP loan.
Okay.
She can call me at 916-735-1722, and that'll get my direct line, and I can help get her connected, or she can email me at Carrie, CARRIE, period, ELLINWOOD at SBA.gov. And if you could put that in chat for me, or questions, so that would make it easier.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll respond. I'll put that in the question.
Thank you.
I can find it.
Okay. So so it's exciting that we have it's exciting that we have a lot more questions here. I'm excited. Let's see here. More than we've had the last couple weeks, so it's good. So it's a good topic to talk about, which is great. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, Alex is a guy. Yeah. I thanks, Margaret. Yeah, I know Alex. He texts me all the time. We've been talking, and some of my advisors have talked to him. So it's good. We're getting somewhere. July 13th, since we applied for the reconsideration. Okay, yeah. All right, a lot of reconsideration. So you could call your local SBA office if you're in San Francisco Bay Area. You can call the one there, or you can call Carrie, the one in Sacramento. Regarding your reconsiderations, if you're not getting anywhere, unfortunately, they have, I don't know, somewhere around 4 or 5 million people that they're responding to for these considerations. So there's a lot of people. So they're doing their best to try to get to you, but sometimes you can call the district office and email them and talk to them, and you can get a quicker answer sometimes. So, and Carrie's been,
Yeah, Scott.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. And do let people know we are working through those reconsiderations as quickly as we can. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's going to be 2, 3, 4 weeks, but if they're concerned and have challenges and want to speak with someone, you can certainly contact us at the Sacramento district office, or as you mentioned, the San Francisco district office as well. Thank you, Scott.
You're welcome. Thanks, Gary. So Jennifer Huber's asking, so,
Putting it in there.
oh, okay, thanks. Thank you. All right. I received my PPP loan last week. I don't know if our business will get back open before the end of the year. So is it okay to wait a few weeks before I get my employees back? Yes, it is okay, Lorna. You can wait. If you choose 24 weeks, you can wait. If you choose 8 weeks, you can't wait until like a certain amount of time. So I'm assuming you're going to choose 24 weeks. You can wait. You can put the money in the bank and just hang out until you can get to a certain spot. I think that's why there's a lag period until until December 31st. I think that's why. Yeah. I think so. Yeah. Sole prop with PPP. Can you confirm that you just said that my loans started accruing interest as soon as I got the funds? That's true. As soon as the money's entered your bank account, you started accruing interest, and it is a per diem, meaning it's a per day or per month, depending on how long you keep it. If so, will this be forgiven? Also, if my loan is forgiven, I spend 90% on payroll. So will be forgiven, Sunita, if the interest will be forgiven too? Wow.
Yes.
All right. PPP interest will be forgiven. Okay. That's cool. That's awesome. All right. But idle interest accrues, and if you pay it back after 3 months, 6 months, a year, the interest does accrue regardless if you pay it back. Or if you wait 8 months into the 11 months deferral and pay it back, then you pay 8 months of interest, which is not a whole lot, but I know it's a business expense, so I'm not trying to discredit it. I have a question about HR. We have an employee that keeps turning down work. Okay, they blame it on being too far away from their house. For example, anything farther than 1 mile. Their house is too far to travel. Well, they did it before, Aaron or Emmy. Maybe I don't know why they won't do it again. They won't come back to work. I found out over the weekend that they applied for UI, unemployment, based on reduced hours. Who can I talk to about this? All right, so Emmy, you could call our 800 number. I'm not sure if you're a client of SBDC's, but if you are, you can go to your local SBDC center and talk to the HR expert there, or you can call us and ask for HR. I'm putting this in the chat. You can call us at 833-ASKSBDC. Just ask for HR help, and if you have a center associated with you, we'll help you there. If you don't, then we can help you. Anyways, so I know Alan has a poll that he's going to launch.
Okay. I think this is what we want, but I'm open to interpretation. So I've got 4 options for what you'd like to hear more information on around forgiveness. So let's, oh, hang on, let me just check. I realized I did that one wrong. So I need to make a quick, tiny change to it to make you able to vote for more than one category at a time. And that will take me just, oh, moments, come on, hit the button, polls. Oh, I can't do that right now, it's going. Yep, this is going to take me a moment to do. I'm so sorry about this, folks. It's
okay, we know it's your first time. It's okay, I get it, man, it's cool.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm just going to have to
okay, we'll just continue answering.
Well, so the question is, which one do you most want to see rather than which of the various options you can see, because I can only give you one option at a time. So what would you most like to see? Okay, so we're seeing some 30-something people voting. We're seeing a very clear leader at the moment. second one's catching up quite strongly. I feel like I'm commentating on a horse race or a NASCAR race right now.
Say you feel like you're in a NASCAR race right now?
I feel like I'm commentating on a NASCAR race right now. So we have one of the leaders is strong, but coming up in a strong second place and challenging for first is another question. Let's see what happens when they reach the corner. So about 50% of people have voted. So give people a moment or two to complete their vote. If anybody has can't see the questions, we've had some cases where because of the nature of your browser, you might not see the pop-up that contains the poll. So in which case, put your answer in chat. The poll choices are FTE definitions, what count as payroll costs, what non-payroll costs are forgivable, or when should I apply? And the answer to somebody who put a note into the chat is when should I apply for forgiveness is maybe a clearer question. So let's give that a moment. I think we're probably, we've not seen anyone vote for a few seconds, so I'm going to end the poll in 3, 2, 1. Okay. And share the results. So that's what the results look like. And it came in a lot closer than it was. So 41% of people, 30 of them people who voted, so they would most like to see the FTE definitions. Second place was what non-payroll costs are forgivable. Third by a squeak was when should I apply, and finally what counts as payroll costs. And if there's something else specifically you'd like more details on, just throw that topic into the chat and I'll take that into a consideration if we ask this question again next time.
So thank you very much, Ellen. I appreciate that. You did a great job. Thank you. I know you're a little flustered there for a little while, but you did a good job, man. You came through. I thank you. So FTE definitions, that makes sense because we didn't go over that. And then the other one, everything makes sense.
Okay.
And then we have 2 more questions. All those forgiveness topics are worth addressing. Thanks, Jeannie. Jeannie. Not a question. I just want to say you're all amazing. It's been a long haul, and you've been with us from day one. Thank you for doing these. Oh, thanks, Rebecca. You're welcome, Rebecca.
Thank you for joining us, Rebecca.
Thanks for joining us. Thanks for giving us someone to talk to. We had more today than we did last week, so I'm excited that we had a bigger crowd today. We talk about these webinars daily amongst ourselves, and we try to figure out if we should continue them. And we appreciate your praise and your graciousness for us to be here. So we will continue. We are going to continue through August. We're not sure what September is going to look like. Maybe one day a week, but yeah, we will. Everybody is now replying that they want us to continue the webinars, so that's cool. Thank you very much. We're excited. All right, so as long as a borrower submits the loan forgiveness application within 10 months of the completion of the covered period, what is covered period?
The covered period can go all the way to 12/31/2020, whichever comes sooner. So if you got money, just received money, you can still choose 24 weeks, but you have to have used it up by 12/31/2020, which is the end of everyone's covered period at this point in time. I always say at this point in time because things could change.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, A lot of thank yous. That's exciting. Thank you very much. That's exciting. This is priceless. Look at that. We're so valuable. Everybody can give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you for your help. Just curious how many people are on the call today. Neil, not sure who you are, Neil, but there was a total, if you don't count the 4 of us as panelists, I think the max that we got to is about 150, 145, somewhere around there. But good question, Neil.
And interesting enough, some people do come and go. So the maximum at any one point is not the same number as the maximum number of people who actually are here for some of that time. It's what I spend my time doing when I'm not actually doing, looking at the analysis of these things.
Yeah.
Hi, Victoria. We'll probably do an HR webinar probably on Tuesdays and Thursdays. On Mondays and Wednesdays, we're going to keep it pretty lending, more about lending and some other questions on Wednesdays for the attorneys. But if we don't have an HR coming up soon here, we will talk to our regional department and see if they can get something together here pretty soon.
Yeah, and we've actually had a couple of recorded webinars, that are on HR, and I'm just going to grab the most recent one and find it, and then we can, I'll throw the link to the recording of that in the chat, which will probably be quite useful for you. Let me just see if I can find the version of the most recent one of those we did.
So somebody's asking, so yeah, can you,
I told them to call us, Scott, because they wanted other options beside EIDL. Go ahead and give us a call for SBA loans, and then we can help walk you through that. We have had other information in our past webinars, but please give us a call and we can help you directly. It looks like it's 11:32 and we do not have any more questions, so we'll see you guys on Wednesday.
Okay. Just before I close this off, so I just put the link to the most recent HR webinar that you can view on our Vimeo library in chat. So the person who was asking for that, take a second, have a look in chat, see that, click on it, and go there. All right, other than that, thank you very much. We'll see you all next week, won't we? Or on Wednesday.
We'll see you Wednesday. Are you going to skip Wednesday?
No, I'll be here Wednesday. I'll be here Wednesday. I can't. The idea of missing my hour with Scott is just too much for me. So I will have to be here. So I can come up with a poll in the middle of just this idea that you have. All right. Take care, everybody. We'll see you all.
Thank you, Carrie. Thank you, Alan. Thank you, Scott.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you, everybody.